Hello. Lots of people have been asking how to access, or what's the best way to access the census data, particularly as it's a good resource for independent investigations and other fieldwork. So the census, the UK census, is a large-scale collection of data, particularly socio-demographic data, collected by the Office for National Statistics. Now it's collected every 10 years. The last one was 2011, so there was previously 2001, and go back 10 years. They also collect lots of other data on a slightly smaller scale, based around migration and all sorts of other factors. Now, the best way to access the census is not through the actual ONS website, but instead through something called nomisweb. And you can find this if you Google Nomis. Now, Nomis is a database held by the University of Durham in conjunction with the ONS, and they provide actually probably one of the best ways to access the data. Now, you can look at different area levels, but the best way is through querying the data. But before I go any further, I just wanted to explain that the data is available at a variety of what is called census geographies. And I've got an image here. This explains a bit. The data is available at country level, also at local authorities, what people might sort of associate with councils, and then you can go down to much more detailed, what's called middle super output areas and lower super output areas. And when you get down to the finer level, the middle super output area and lower super output area, those are done by looking at this. They try and group together a similar number of population. So lower super area output areas have a population range of between 1,000 and 3,000, and they have they try and group together a number of households. So this is the finest level of detail you can collect. Now, if we go back to the Nomis, we click the query data. You can see here 2011, 2001. We go back to 1981, and lots of the other data collected in slightly different ways. So we click Census 2011. You can explore lots of these tabs, but the best one is just to go into the key statistics, and it gives you an overview of the main statistics that are available. So you might be looking at an area and wanting to understand how or what the sort of age structure is of that place. So if we click on age structure, it then takes us through to this page here. Gives us a bit of metadata, which is information about information, tells us what it is, when it was collected. And you use this menu down the left-hand side in order to click through and select exactly what data you'd like. So you start with geography, and you need to pick which area. So we're looking for, let's say, lower super output area, so the 2011's lower super output area. We're going to select some of them because we don't want the whole of the UK. And then you can click this tab here, which allows you to select from a map. Now, let's say we wanted to go and look for, let's say, somewhere in Cardiff. And then you can either do it from the map, or it might be that you know the names of the area that you want to collect data. So we want to collect it for this site here. So we've selected the site, we can select as many as we want. We then want to click what exactly of the data do we want? Well, we want all of the data, and we also would like the mean and median. Now, the data comes in raw values, but we can also then select to have the percentages as well. So you can have raw and percentages. Now, the percentages are much better for comparing areas. So comparison between areas, you want the percentage. We can also have a breakdown if we really wanted to in terms of the rural and urban split, but we'll ignore that one, and we're going to jump straight to the download button, because it defaults to download the data in Excel. So it takes a minute just for it to extract the data, and then it's an XLSX file. So then we can choose to download it, and then I'll just open it to show you what that looks like. Now, what we get is this information at the top here. It's called metadata, and again it was that we first saw on the first screen. Now we know that this data is for this area here, so what we're going to do is you need to remove those first top ones. We'll also delete this top one, this information here, and then what we've got is the number and the percentage. And what we could do then is we could go and download the 2001 data and then make some sort of comparison between 2001 and 2011, or we could look at different areas, so we can make sure that we keep the area information with it. But that's pretty much the best way and the cleanest and easiest way in order to download through nomis. So to get census data, you want nomis. I hope you find that helpful.